Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Good morning, Common Gay View. I like your name. And Seraphin, nice to see everybody. I feel like this should be like the death episode because there's just a lot of death to talk about. I should be wearing black. I'm not because it's Friday and we're going to try to keep it positive. There's life where there's death. So when we're discussing the news stories today, and we're going to talk about the astrology for today as well as for this weekend. That's like the big thing that we really should be focusing on, not these crazy deaths that are going on right now. I mean, it is a little bit death heavy today, which we'll talk about. But first, let's look at what's going on in the stars. Good morning, Fran. Good morning, Diane. Good morning, Eberific. Good morning, Common Gay View again. We all knew Brian was dead. Okay, we'll get to that. But first, let's talk about what's going on in your Friday and what you can do to make an amazing Friday for yourself and weekend. So today, 22nd of October, it is the waning moon. So the energy of the moon is decreasing, right? Because it's going from full to new. So that means that it's time now to let go of things, release, relax, removing blocks. So removing blocks to your goals. Really, the big thing is about resistance, releasing resistance, letting go, and allowing yourself to remove blocks, like get things out of your way, create the space for what it is that you want. It's Venus's day. And it's a double whammy of Venus energy because the moon is in Venus ruled Taurus. So spread the love like this chick. She is having a ball spreading all that love around. You can use the Taurus moon for activities that yield solid results, financial matters, nesting, resting, enjoying your body. Taurus is super sensual. Music, they are such great musicians and dancers, Taurus. And Taurus actually... It rules the throat chakra, which pertains to hearing, as well as speaking, of course. So they're both connected. So you can really get your records on today and really enjoy music and, of course, food. So additionally today, Mars will square Pluto. Now, this aspect was relevant yesterday as well as for the full moon that we had. It gives us an intense desire to gain power and control and compete to win. It's not wise to suppress this strong urge to succeed. It's not the time, though, to be starting fights, making enemies, or generally losing your shit. It is a time, though, to strive for success in a very careful way, as if you're playing Jenga, like this guy. So you want to be very careful. Don't be overly assertive or make others feel threatened. And what we're going to do is we're going to totally talk about this weekend and what you have going on for your weekend at the end of this video. Once we go through our news stories, there's so much going on here. I'm drinking hot chocolate before I get busy on the online. Oh, okay. Well, that is awesome. Nothing is better than a hot chocolate and listening to these news stories. Good afternoon. So, oh, let me just put this up. So, bless you. Bless you! I didn't sneeze. But that's okay. No. Thank you. Bless you as well. The retrograde is over, right? Haven't been able to get out of bed in a week. Ouch. So the retrograde is technically over, but it's a little slow until November 1st or 2nd. I would give it to the 2nd because we're still in its shadow period. So just, things are better, definitely, but we're not completely out of the woods. Not just yet, but soon we should be. Soon we should be. So let's talk about what's going on in the news today. God, man, Alec Baldwin is having a day or a week. This is not his week, and we'll tell you why, actually. So, yeah. I'm sure you heard about this last night. Alec Baldwin fatally shoots crew member with prop firearm. Authorities say the movie's director of photography was killed and the director was injured. on the set of Rust, a Western, a sheriff's office in New Mexico, said. So, yeah, on Thursday, Hutchins, 42, that's this lady. It's very sad. She was killed when the actor Alec Baldwin discharged a firearm being used as a prop in the set of Rust, a Western about a teenage boy. This is what's interesting. Rust, the movie, is a Western about a teenage boy who goes on the run with his grandfather after the accidental killing of a local rancher. So it's sort of like life imitating art, a little bit with that accidental killing. Hutchins, the film's director of photography, died after being flown to the University of New Mexico Hospital in Albuquerque. The film's director, Joel Souza, was also injured during the shooting. This obviously brings to mind the 1993 death of Brandon Lee on a film set as well. However, from what I gathered from a very, very, very relevant source, i.e., a dead person or spirit, is that Brandon Lee was he ended the curse of the Lee family. Like, I guess it went on for generations prior to Bruce Lee. I don't know exactly who, but apparently, from what I gathered from spirit, Brandon Lee, his death ended the curse on the Lee family. But that's what everybody's thinking about. But in regard to Rust and Alec Baldwin, the details are unclear at this moment, but we are working to learn more, and we support a full investigation into this tragic event. Their statement said, "This is a terrible loss, and we mourn the passing of a member of our guild's family." The details of what happened on Rust set remained The details of what happened on the Rust set remained unclear Friday morning. Larry Zanoff, an armorer for films who worked in the set of Django Unchained and was not involved in Rust, said that in general, only blank ammunition, a cartridge case with no bullet, is sanctioned on a film set. Productions sometimes use prop guns, such as rubber guns or replica guns, but oftentimes they use actual firearms firing blanks. So, yeah, it's so interesting. But when we look at what's going on in Alec Baldwin's chart, Jesus, I mean, it makes a lot of sense what's going on. First, right now we got Jupiter, who, it doesn't move very quickly, but that is right on his Chiron, within 1 degree of his Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer, and Jupiter expands whatever it touches. So according to his chart, we don't have his time of birth, but we know when he was born, the day he was born and where. Jupiter is activating that Chiron. It's activating his woundedness and has been for quite some time. Additionally, there's a lot of stuff that's going on here as well with, if you notice, the sun right now is or yesterday when this happened, 28 degrees, right? And that is literally right on his Jupiter. Let me just right on his Jupiter. And also, so when the sun hits Jupiter, again, it whatever Jupiter touches, it expands. So this makes his ego a little bit big, actually. No shock there. But also, Mars, which rules firearms, right, is also within proximity of that Jupiter. Right, that 24 Mars hits Jupiter. And again, Jupiter expands whatever it touches. And it expanded, I guess, the firearm or his fingers with the firearm. A lot of other stuff was going on yesterday, actually, in his chart. The moon was at 9 degrees Taurus yesterday at 7:54 a.m. in Los Angeles anyway. And that 9-degree Taurus moon actually makes a square to his Mars at 12 degrees Aquarius, right? So when the moon squares Mars, it's a little bit rough because you're feeling more emotional and fiery. So it's the natural conflict between water, the moon, the fire of Mars. Meanwhile, Uranus, for a while now, has been squaring his Mars at all. Uranus has to do with unforeseen upsets, accidents, and that's making an awkward square to his Mars at 12 degrees Aquarius. And again, Mars rules firearms. But wait, there's more. Neptune, for a while now, has been squaring his Saturn. So his Saturn is at 25 degrees Sag, and Neptune's at 20 degrees Pisces. So that's making an awkward square. So for a while now, it's been difficult for him in terms of what's real and what's not real. Illusion is part of Neptune, and Saturn is Captain Reality. So there's a bit of a square there, making it difficult for him to determine what's real, what's not real. This square can result in paranoia. It makes us easy to fall into like drug addiction or addictive tendencies. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going on here in his chart that makes sense why he would have an issue in regard to that. Yeah, it's really rather sad. So yeah, while we're at it, folks, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. But I think that we should do a little special thing today. A little special thing with finding out like what actually happened with Alec Baldwin. So if anybody's going to be around for the next 5 minutes, just call out to me in the chat because I'm going to need an assistant. I need a little bit of help. Anybody? Steph, Seraphin, Common Gay View, Fran, anybody who's here. I just need a volunteer. Bueller. I need help. I just need you. All you need to do is say a word. That's all you have to do. You just need to type a word in the chat. Steph, you will? Is that correct? All right. I'm gonna go with you, Steph. Steph, are you with me here? Okay, thank you, Steph. Okay, awesome. So I think we should ask a question with the cards about what's good. Thank you, Steph. In regard to what we need to know or what is relevant to the whole thing that happened on the set of Rust with Alec Baldwin. So will you, if I'm asking you to do something else, but if you could just pose that question in the comment box, Steph, that would be like super helpful. If you don't mind. I know I'm asking you to do something like on the fly, but just like what happened on the set with Rust at the Rust set, something along those lines. That would be super helpful if you could. And if you don't want to, that's fine. We have somebody else can. Just what happened on the set of Rust. Or Fran, anyone, just type it in the box. Perfect. Lady Knight of Avalon. Okay, what happened on the set of Rust? So, what happened on the set of Rust? With Alec Baldwin. Oh, I'm sorry, Steph. Okay. What happened in the set of Rust? Like, I guess what we're looking at and what I'm curious about, hopefully you guys are too, like, how did this happen? What is it that we need to know, or not need to know, but what is it that would be interesting to know about what happened in regard to Alec Baldwin on the set of Rust? This is another good question. What unseen circumstances surrounding the shooting on the Rust set? Oh, I like that, Raquel. Let's use that one. What unseen circumstances are surrounding shooting on the Rust what's it called? Rust set. Will you do me a favor, Raquel? Just say stop whenever I should stop. Somebody say stop. Thank you. Okay, let's see. There's a delay. It's not you. It's not me either. Interesting. Well, it certainly doesn't look like it was intentional. I'm just going to do, I mean, really, really good cards. But let's just see one more time. I just want to do a redo with that. I mean, not that they were bad cards. I'll remember them, and if we have like a correlation. And just say stop one more time. Thank you. Okay. What happened on the set of Rust? So I don't think anything really. I mean, we have the death card, right, which makes perfect sense because there was the death. But yeah, nothing nefarious with the Three of Discs. This is like teamwork, and I think King of Cups. If anything, there was just a certain extra emotionality, which makes sense if Alec Baldwin had that moon. What was the aspect? Something go. Oh, Moon and Mars. So yeah, this was not intentional. I actually did wonder that. You know, in the previous spread, just so you know, we got 9 of discs or 9 of pentacles, which is love of work made visible. We also had the 4 of wands we got in the previous spread, which is about making it's really like an entertainment card. It's about like stabilizing your passion, doing something with your passion. And then your final card that we got with the previous spread was 6 of pentacles, which has to do with success. And these cards are also positive. I mean, the death card, obviously, it's like, you know, death, but it's not always negative. But essentially, my point is that nothing nefarious. There was nothing intentional going on with this. These are people that were really getting along well. It just was a strange accident. I think if anything, the extra emotionality that Alec Baldwin may have been going through may have contributed to that. But yeah, nothing intentional by a long shot per 2 spreads that we did. So but thanks for your help. Yeah, so thanks for your help in regard to that. So yeah, well, let's see what else is let's see. Okay, this is interesting. Maybe not intentional for the woman who died, but what about the person who is supposed to get hit in the movie story, like Brandon Lee? Oh, interesting. That's the thing. Like, I think that if anything was on the Rust set, like if anybody was trying to kill someone, I think that the cards that would have shown up would have been a lot more nefarious, and they really weren't. Like this is just sometimes accidents actually, you know, do happen. Comment gave you says, yeah, I didn't think it was done on purpose. However, the studios will use this to push for more CGI and stunts. Oh, that's a good point. I know, that's what I said. Not that he's, you know, he's a human being. And he has his days, and he's, you know, an Aries. Just an industrial accent. He's such a mean guy with nastiness. Yeah, I agree that he can be a little bit nasty, but I don't think that this was intentional. I think this was just a lot of stress that happened, and I think that, you know, especially with everything going on in his chart, I think that this was something that there was a storm brewing inside of him. Okay, but I don't think that it was like intentional with the 2 spreads that we did. Just it's pretty fascinating. Okay, so this is a question about my question in general. When Joshua mentioned Brandon Lee and curses, do curses have astrological influences, or are they a mindset thing or influenced by like sports? You know, I gathered from a very, very reliable source that there was a curse, right? I always say to my clients, like, if you think somebody can affect you, they can. But if you don't think that they have any power to, they can't. But, you know, it's a belief, right? So if something happened at one point in a generation and it gets, you know, in the subconscious of people, because think of it this way. So it's a belief, essentially. So when, you know, Brandon Lee was when Brandon Lee's mother was pregnant with him, let's say, in the womb, the subconscious is still being like activated. So like essentially, if a woman is pregnant and she smokes a cigarette, she shares that cigarette with the child. Likewise, if a woman is going through like trauma, or she's worrying about something, or she has terrible anxiety, that too she's sharing with the child. So then the child is born, and there might be this subtext about, oh geez, I hope our child doesn't get, you know, isn't cursed, etc. So I think it becomes like a part of beliefs. Oh, Sonia, who's an actress, has inside knowledge. Accidents happen on set. This is going to be so hard for him to deal with. Yeah, I bet you're right. I bet you're right. Yeah, it will be interesting to see that. But yeah, I think that the big thing is that you want to know that you're only subjected to the highest and clearest influences. Yeah. So yeah, I'd love to hear even more about what you guys have to say about the whole Alec Baldwin thing. My first instinct went last night, not instinct, but my imagination ran a little bit wild last night when I heard about this because he has a bit of a rep, um, Alec Baldwin. But yeah, there's more to talk about today that I won't say it's um more pleasant, but it's certainly uh different. So yeah, Brian Laundrie is dead. He is as dead as a doornail. Yeah. So after searching for more than a month, authorities found the skeletal remains of Brian Laundrie, who was a person of interest in the disappearance of his fiancée, Gabby Petito, and the break in the case came from his parents. Interesting. So, investigators located partial human remains Wednesday at the Colton Reserve, a sprawling Florida wildlife refuge that was Laundrie's last known location. The remains were identified as the 23-year-old man through dental records, the FBI field office in Denver announced Thursday. This came after Laundrie's parents directed FBI agents and Northport police to an area where, quote, some articles belonging to Brian were found. According to the statement Wednesday by Laundrie's family attorney, who's really working overtime here, he said the Laundries found items in an area where they had initially advised law enforcement that Brian may be. Now, public attention turns to Brian Laundrie's parents after FBI confirms his remains. These are his parents. Yeah, so a senior law enforcement source told NBC News that the remains were found near a backpack that may have belonged to Laundrie. Other items thought to have belonged to Laundrie, including a notebook, were found in the area. Now, this is why they're saying that it wasn't a cover up. Including a notebook, were found in an area that up until recently had been underwater. Okay, so that's what they're saying. Special agent in charge of FBI's Tampa office said. So David Thomas, who worked for 20 years as a police, likely that Laundrie's parents made the decision to involve themselves publicly in the search with the direction of their attorney. He said, quote, if you're smart, you let your attorney do the talking. You don't do it. And they lawyered up right away. Thomas, professor of forensic studies at Florida Gulf Coast University, said, quote, I would suspect that any move they made, like when the dad went out and helped them with the search, anything you see them do, I don't think they would do that without the advice of their attorney. Laundrie's parents have said that speculation they helped their son escape is just wrong, according to a late September statement from their lawyer. Petito's parents have accused the Laundries, this is the poor girl who got killed, of not being cooperative. Talk about in-law problems, right? When they were searching for their daughter and of withholding information from them after Laundrie returned home without her. Joseph Giacalone, a retired sergeant with the New York Police Department who supervised a cold case unit in the Bronx, said, quote, most parents would do exactly what they had to do. So true, right? It may be morally and ethically wrong, but we understand what mothers will do, what fathers will do. He's talking about protecting their son. I'm sure they expected something strange when he comes home with the car and she's not around, he said, referencing Laundrie's return without Petito after the road trip. So, yeah, it's really interesting. These are the parents. Yeah, interesting. And this is my question too, all along. Well, I think that we should look at this. I think we should find out what, whether or not his parents, well, what's a good question? What do you think? What's a good question? Did his parents know? I don't have time to psychic each parent separately, but let's just see, I guess the question would be, did their parents know more than they revealed all along? Is that a good question? If somebody could write something along those lines in the chat, that would be awesome. And we'll pull some cards on to see what we get. So anybody who wants to just like type in, did the parents Did know he was all okay, thanks. Okay. So did his parents know more? I like that one, Seraphin, if you don't mind. Did the parents know more than they revealed? So did Brian Laundrie's parents know more than they revealed? And ooh, whoa, a card popped out. The Hierophant. We'll just keep that in mind. Did the parents know? We'll say, did the parents know more than they revealed? Did Brian Laundrie's parents? I'm just going to look at their picture for a second. Did Brian Laundrie's parents know more than they revealed? Okay. Anytime I'm going to stop shuffling, just somebody say stop. Just somebody say stop. Thanks. Did Brian Laundrie's parents know more than they revealed? Judgment, Two of Swords, Magician. So the Judgment card comes up. There's going to be some new information coming up in regard to this place. I think with Two of Swords, they were at a standoff, right? They were like, oh, what do we do? And with the Magician card, yeah, I would say that, the Magician is consciousness, right? There's a certain level of consciousness, and it's interesting. I think with the Magician card, it's all about, making things happen, and ruled by Mercury, it definitely is about communication and knowledge. The Magician has hidden knowledge, right? He knows how to work all four elements. So there's going to be new information coming up in regard to this within the next, I would say, 2 weeks. It's going to be interesting. With the Two of Swords, yeah. So I think so, yeah. Let's see. Knowing more is involved. You want to see whether or not they were like involved. Like, did they have a hand in killing the girl? Is that what you're saying? Well, let's see. Well, they definitely knew more than they had said in regard to his, according to the cards. This entertainment purposes only, of course. But you want to know whether or not if they were possibly involved in her death. Is that correct? I was thinking just the covering up, but sure. Let's just see. Were they just somebody write, were the parents involved for entertainment purposes only? Were the parents involved with her actual death? Just somebody write that for me. Type that for me. Involved. Parents involved in Gabby's. Thank you, Seraphin. Were the parents involved in Gabby's actual death? And I'm going to stop shuffling. Just somebody type stop. Thanks. Were the parents involved in Gabby's actual death? Knight of Cups. Ooh, interesting. You got 3 knights in a row in a 3-card spread. Knight of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, and Knight of Swords. Very interesting. So there are more people involved in this, more than just them. I don't think that they were involved in the actual killing of her. I never thought that. Yeah, I never thought that. But with 3 knights, it's really interesting. The knights have to do in the tower with goal-oriented activity. They require a focus of like energy. So it's interesting. Yeah, I feel like it seems, according to this, more people were involved, and I think that they had to make fast moves. But I don't think they were involved in in her actual death, like the actual killing of her. I think originally my feeling was that they, tried to help him. Maybe he wound up saying, goodbye to them, before he decided to off himself. So yeah, that could be. They could have known where he was all along, got involved when he didn't contact them. But I think it's so interesting. 3 nights in a reading, 3 nights in a 3-card spread. Really interesting. So yeah, it's about focus, definitely people, other people involved. Fascinating. I would never have thought that. But I don't think they were involved in the actual death. They may have been a little bit, worried about their son. Yeah, let's just see what else we have. Yeah, could the Petito family have intuited the relationship would end in no good? Yeah, get that all the time from parents when I was young and wayward. Yeah, I think that's very, very possible that they knew that things were headed in a rough space. Yeah, could very well be the case. So yeah, that's it. I'd love to hear anything else you have to say about the whole Laundrie thing. I think, looking at the parents, I mean, parents are going to do anything for their child, right? Usually. So, yeah, I think they knew more, were involved in the actual death, but it's so interesting, the other people. I wonder what other people are going to come up in regard to this. Really fascinating. Yeah, my pleasure. So yeah, let's look at the aspects for this weekend. So you're all set for this weekend coming up, and you're in a really good space for it. So let me just get the right screen up for you guys. Here we go. So yeah, tomorrow, Saturday, we have the moon in Gemini. We have the moon in Gemini tomorrow. So we're going to wake up. So the moon's in Taurus now, and will be until 3:57 a.m. EDT Saturday. And then Luna will enter Gemini. And that is reminiscent of that wonderful video. Do you remember this video? The hello video with Lionel Richie. Remember it? Such a great, crazy video. Such a great video. Anyway, Lionel Richie is a Gemini, and Gemini likes to talk, maybe even say hello on the phone. So that's the song of the day. Be sure to listen to that song on Saturday. Very, very important. So it's the waning moon. We're still in the waning moon, so it's all about getting things, releasing energy and letting go, and doing what you can to remove blocks to your happiness. So it's about releasing resistance. Saturn's day on Saturday. Is it me you're looking for? Yeah. That sweater is nice. I agree. I want that sweater. Although I want to bring back the 80s, like, in so many ways. I loved the 80s. Love his sweater as well. It's so beautiful. It's great. Is it me you're looking for? Oh, hi, Gemini. I'm glad to see a Gemini in the crowd. That's great. Hair was the best in this. I liked it in the 70s. I have a real aversion to the 1970s for whatever reason. But I loved 80s hair. Raquel, you're a Gemini too. That's cool. Oh, is it me you're looking for to a blind woman? Yeah, I think so too. That girl was so gorgeous. So beautiful. Anyway, it's Saturn's day on Saturday. So Saturn is the planet of restriction, discipline, and responsibility. So it's a great day on Saturday to get your ducks in a row. And with the Gemini moon, you can do a lot of different things. Like, it's good for multitasking. You can actually, it's a light energy, so you can work on more than one project at a time. You can bop around, do errands. You can go on a short trip. Lots of things to do under the Gemini moon. Gemini keywords and phrases for Saturday include smart, versatile, curious, chit-chat, scatterbrained, restless, superficial, and dualistic. Yeah, so it should be a an interesting day on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we're still in the waning moon cycle, so do whatever it is that you can to release resistance. It's sort of like letting go, getting out of the way of your goals. Abraham Hicks, for instance, says that once you ask for something, it's given. And then you allow yourself to get out of the way and you make it happens. So just release resistance. Don't worry about what hasn't happened. Focus on what it is that you want. And you might want to just do a little mental trick under the Gemini moon this weekend and pretend that it already happened. It's the sun's day on Sunday, so be sure to celebrate being alive, have fun, allow yourself to enjoy that inner child, like this little kid over here. Gemini is very, very young at heart, and it is the sun's day, so be sure to have fun, playing a sprinkler if it's not too cold. Gemini moon on Sunday, and you can use the Gemini moon for value-based decision-making. So when we're in Taurus, like today, Taurus rules values. So this is a good time to really determine what is it that you really, really value? What do you care about? What things in your life do you not want to live without? What do you really care about now in this moment in time? That's what we're finding out today and into tomorrow with the Taurus moon, because Taurus rules values. Now, when the Gemini moon comes, it's about making choices and making decisions based upon those values. Excellence begins with a choice. Loving someone begins with a choice. Being successful begins with a choice. And most definitely, happiness begins with a choice. So think of your 4 values or your top 4 values and make decisions based upon those, because Gemini is so good at using their mind and going toward what they want. So utilize that Gemini moon to make value-based decision making, decisions based upon your values. It's also good for running errands, chit chat, communications, writing, editing, learning, teaching, short distance trips, socializing, as well as multitasking. And there are really there's no aspects this weekend. Yeah, no aspects at all. Yeah, it's interesting. Well, before I go, do you guys have any questions before I hit the road, Jack? About this weekend. These are darker times for sure. Up to what? Ooh, I like this. These are darker times for sure. Up to us to be the light for ourselves and others. Yep. Just like Aerosmith says in I forget one of his songs. Steven Tyler, the light at the end of the tunnel may be you. So keep that in mind. It's so true. Oh, your mom's birthday lunch is Sunday. Well, happy birthday to your mom. Oh, it's not her actual birthday. Well, still, I hope she has a really, really great birthday. All right. Well, that's it. Oh yeah, my pleasure. Yeah. Don't think you're subjected to anything, but the highest and clearest influences. And you can even say that, I'm only subjected to the highest and clearest influences. And really, you can't experience the vibration that you're not the vibration of. So, if you're all love is a protection. So, yeah. So make sure you spread the love today, especially because of it being Friday and Venus's day. And make sure you're listening to music as well. So thank you guys all for watching today. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And of course, if you're looking for a psychic astrology reading, you know where to find me, psychicsun.com, and we'll hook you up with a reading. It was great to see everybody. Have a happy weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Probably not live on Monday, but Monday nonetheless. We'll get a video that I'll post early for your day so you can start your day great. Have a great day. To write is rain, and everyone else. Take super good care.